Okay, good morning and welcome to Yeshiva YouTube Daily Double. Today, I'm continuing Maseches Bikurim, Perach Aleph, Mishnayos Hey and Vav. Mishnah Hey says, Rabbi Lezer ben Yaakov Omer Isha Bas Gerim. We're talking about Gerish in the previous Mishnah. I talk about halacha that's not relevant to Maseches Bikurim, but it's relevant to the previous Mishnah. Isha Bas Gerim, her parents are Gerim, and they're Megayah, and they had a daughter. Loti nase lakuna. We know that's true. She's considered the product of Gerim. She's considered a Gioris also. Loti nase lakuna adshe imam Yisrael. This is only within lechatchila, but you have it technically if a woman who's the daughter, if she's a Gioris herself, then even with the she has to get divorced from the Kohen. However, if she's the product, her parents converted and then they had her, so then the Gemara has a drasha, Maseches Kiddushin, Mizera Beis Yisrael Yichol Amnashim. It says in Yechezkel, right? It has to be at least her mother had good lineage. Her mother was a Jewish woman. She didn't convert. If they get married, she can stay married. But l'chadchila, you have to make sure the mother is Yisrael. Echad Geirim, Echad Avadim. Ad Shedei Lezer ben Yaakov Isha Bas Geirim L'Tesel Gun Ad Shedei Imam Yisrael. Echad Geirim, Echad Avadim Mishkaran Afil Ad Asara Doros Ad Shedei Imam Yisrael. Even it goes 10 generations, as long as, and some of the Rishonim say 10 generations lav dafka. It's like a mamzer Asara Doros. If you trace your lineage back to the parents who were Gerim, the mother was a Giora specifically, so then l'chadchila you're not supposed to marry a Kohen or an Evan Meshuchar, also the same status as a Gerim, because an Evan Meshuchar really was, it's like Geirus over there, where you were a non-Jewish person, you did a Chatzi Geirus, and then you were freed, so therefore it's also like Geirus. Apotropis v'hashliach v'eved v'isha v'tumtum v'andragonis mevin v'lokorin she'en yichol lomar asher nasata li Hashem. Apotropos is someone who's appointed either by the father or the beis din to watch over the assets of the Yisomim after the father died. By a shaliach, someone you send an emissary to bring your bikurim to Yerushalayim, or an ever an isha, a slave or an isha, a woman, v'tumtum v'andragonis. These are people. Tumtum has no outer signs of genitals. Androgynous has both genitals. Mevin v'lokorin, they can bring bikurim, but they can't read the parsha. She'en yichol lomar asher nasata li Hashem, that you gave me Hashem. Now, because a woman doesn't have ownership over karka. A woman, even if she's not married, she doesn't have rights to karka. Now, this is hard to understand because a woman really could have rights to the karka. And tumtum and it's a suffix whether she's a man or a woman, so she might be a woman. So therefore, reading the parsha of Bikurim is Del Rice. The suffix Del Rice, you don't read it over here. Why exactly an Isha doesn't right? Especially we learn from Bnos Slavka that they do get a Yerusha. Daughters could get a Yerusha in the Aretz. We'll discuss more. Why is it that Isha can't say this parsha in Ian Mitzion Vav? You purchase 2 ilanos, 2 trees in your friend's field, right? You don't discuss about the land underneath. Maybe in a kore. So according to the Tanakama, you bring bikurim, but you're not kore the parsha, because if you're kona 3 trees, so the Gemara in Baba Basra says you get the land underneath it also. So you have the land. The point is that you need to say admascha, right? It has to become familiar. You have to own the land that the trees are growing from. So 2 ilanos is a suffix. We're not sure if you were actually koning the land or not. So therefore, since it's a suffix in halacha, whether you're koning the land, you can't say you bring me suffix, right? Bikurim, but you can't say al maskar. Meir maybe a Meir says no, it's not a suffix. You own it, even 2 trees, not 3 trees. You own the land underneath. Yavish hamayan. Let's say you had a field, and it got watered, right? It got irrigated from a spring of water, and the spring of water dried up. Nixas ha'ilan, or the tree was cut down, right? And you didn't pluck off the fruits of bikurim yet. Maybe in a kore you bring bikurim, but you don't read the parsha, because again, at the time you separated bikurim from the tree, it wasn't ad maska, right? It wasn't irrigated, dried up. Can't still grow where it was cut down, so it's no longer ad maska. Or maybe the Korei Rita says no. Nonetheless, it doesn't, since the karka is still there, right? It now is detached from the karka, or it can't grow from the karka, but it still comes from the karka. So you could read Masacha. I mean, Atzeres Perachag, maybe the Korei from Shavuos until Sukkot, you bring and you read the parsha, because it says in the pasuk, the Samachta b'chol hatuv, right? The main time of Simcha is when you're harvesting your fruit, and that the main times of the harvest is between Shavuos and Sukkot. Minachag b'ad Chanukah, maybe in a Korei from Sukkot until Chanukah, so that's like the end of your harvest. So there's not so much Simcha. So you bring, but you don't Korei. Reb Mehuda b'Bisara Omer, maybe the Korei holds even a little bit of Simcha is enough to enable you to read the parsha of Bikurim. We don't pass like Kedah Masera. Stay tuned for Ian Mitzino. We discuss Mishnah Hay about an Isha, a woman who inherits land from her father. Why can't she bring Bikurim? Stay tuned. Coming up next.